Hey guys, it's Ben with Myers Woodshop, and I wanted to give you a quick tip on something new I just came up with. If you guys been following my channel along, you know that I use the Shapeoko CNC and I created a threaded wasteboard. If you don't know about that, go ahead and click the description down below. It'll take you to my blog post and you can read all about it. And then also I came up with some cam clamps for use with that. That allows you to have sideways pressure on the piece to secure it. And then you don't have to worry about the bit hitting any of your clamps. But if you do hit any of the clamps, they're MDF or pine or whatever you choose, and you're just going to cut into them, and you can make these really cheap. It's just the cost of some scrap wood. I wanted to show you something else I just designed that will use the exact same bolts and nuts that you use in the files for the cam clamps that I had, and it is an L-shape clamp. I designed this one to line up exactly with the file and the holes on the threaded wasteboard I designed, and then this one has a slot in each side, so when you put the same bolts for the clamps inside there, you can slide it along there and adjust it. Let me take you to the Shapeoko and show you what I'm talking about. So here is the supplemental wasteboard, the threaded wasteboard that I designed. If you're needing this, make sure to check the description down below. So usually when you get your CNC, it's just the MDF on the bottom and you have no way to clamp. So I designed this threaded wasteboard to change how you can clamp some things. So I wanted to show you the options you have for clamping this down. So first off, a lot of people like to use double-sided tape. They'll just peel off some tape, put it down on the bottom, stick this down on, and it'll hold it pretty good. That's a good way to hold, especially if you're going to cut out a whole lot of little detail fully through. It'll hold this down, but I don't feel like it's too secure. So there's your double-sided tape. Another way is to take a brad nail and shoot these little teeny brads down straight through it into your wasteboard in the corners. That's a really secure way, and if you hit one of these brads with the bit, it's not going to hurt that bad. It's a tiny little sliver of metal. So that's another way to clamp your board down. Second is these wooden clamps that come with the T-track that Shapeoko sells. They want you to hold it down like this. Actually, if you could get another piece that's the same and go ahead and put your bolt down, that's better. But still, you have a clamp that you need to work around. So that's one way. Rockler sells a clamp that's the same way. Low profile, goes out of the way, bends like this, works really nice. You would hold it down with your bolts, but still we're working with a clamp. Next we have Oops clamps. They're made from the people who make a Suck It Dust Boot. They're similar to these two, but they are even smaller profile. They're a rubber, so if you hit into these, they're a plastic, so if you nick into these, you're not going to damage your bit. But they will hold down like this as well. Now the way I've designed it is I came up with a method to use some cam clamps. These are out there. I didn't just come up with this method, but I kind of perfected it on this threaded wasteboard. You'll take your cam clamp, you'll stick your washer and bolt in, and then you'll stick it into one of these threaded holes. And you'll do that for two of them. Do that on one side. You'll go ahead and get the Allen key and tighten it down. Not all the way, just pretty hand tight till it stops. And you'll have it open like this. When you turn it like this against the wood, you're closing it, and you'll notice that it gets bigger, so it'll start moving the wood. Now typically I have another set on the other side. And if I screwed those down and we turn these, it'll friction tight these against each other. It'll pressure fit together. So the piece won't move, and you can see you're not having to worry about hitting any clamps up on top. If you want these clamps or the files, I sell them on my Etsy shop, or you can get them for free at my blog down below in the description. So I just came up with something new. I'm going to go ahead and remove these. So let's say you want to cut a sign, but you want to batch out a bunch of signs. The great thing about the Shapeoko is it remembers where you set your zeros. So we can cut out one sign here, pull everything off, click return to 0, and it'll come right back to the same spot. But if we remove a piece of wood and we want to put it back down, how do we remember to get this exactly where it was before? So I came up with a way with these two clamps, these L-shaped brackets. So what we can do is put that over on the side. You notice that these holes line directly up with the holes on my threaded wasteboard. So we'll set that down. We'll get the same bolts and washers that we used on the cam clamps in my file, and those will line up right down in. And we can secure this to our wasteboard with the same Allen key. We could go with all 6 for more security if it's going to be kind of a permanent thing. 3 is just fine. So we got that secured, and this one doesn't move at all. This is solid, it does not move. And then we can bring our board over and stick it right into the corner. And you'll notice that now we're wedged in the corner and it's not going to be moving. So we can come back with our cam clamps now around the other sides. We can put one here. Need a bigger one up top. Put one here. And then when we tighten, need a bigger one here. When we tighten that, it'll tighten that against this side. If we tighten this, it'll tighten this against that side. So it'll wedge it perfectly square every time. And then if we need to remove it, we pull it out. We're done with our sign. We bring this new piece in. We'll put it back right into the L shape again and wedge them. And now we're lined up with a constant 0 in the corner. Okay, so we have the L bracket. I designed this other one to be able to shift up and down. My idea for using this one was something when you're cutting a curve, it's hard to pin that down. How do you attach this with a side pressure? So I designed this one to go ahead and sit kind of like this. Go around, and you can turn this until you get any of the holes lined up together. And I like to turn this until I get about 2 holes lined up. Right here I have one here and one here. So I can go ahead and slide that there and slide this here. Tighten it down, and if I apply pressure inward and then tighten it, we now have a really good way to tighten down a circle. Now the file has one of each, but you can cut that multiple times, and then you can attach more from each side to get it even more secure. I just have 2 cut out at this point. So remember, we got double-sided tape, really simple, a brad nailer, pneumatic or electric, shoot some brad nails directly into your wasteboard. You also have the clamp that comes with the T-Track Shapeoko cells, the Rockler clamp, the low-profile clamp. We have the cam clamps that I designed. You got a fat one and a thin one. And then the brand new L clamp. One adjustable, one non-adjustable. I'm going to leave a link to all of these things down in the description below. And if you want to check out more, go ahead and visit my blog at myerswoodshop.com/blog. I got a lot of links and files to all this stuff. If you want to help out what I do, I also sell these files on Etsy for the low price of $1.99. You can get them for free at my blog, but it helps me out make more content for you guys if you go ahead and buy them on my Etsy shop. Anyways, click here to see some of my past videos, and click over here to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and happy carving.